So you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who's going
Spin
first?
the wheel. Who's up?
Spin the wheel. Tick, 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 tick. Tony.
Tony
And I'm
G.
going to go
Hotfire.
first because I don't want Nate to take it. So this one was not to, I don't believe, was to satisfy a label contract or anything like that. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. It's a massive, massive undertaking. It's probably 48 or 50 songs, I think. It was 400 or so tracks. They whittled it down, and I think it was over like 3,500 different live shows from this band, this frontman and his band. Any guesses?
Oh, okay. Is it Tom Petty?
It's Tom Petty.
I was gonna say Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Tom Petty's live anthology from 2009. So that came out
Nice.
in November of 2009 and has just so many great versions of his songs live. I think, and there's a theme for what I picked tonight, they're bands that I've seen, bands or artists that I've seen, so I can put myself there when listening to the live version. Does that make sense? I think that's the thing. I think that works.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is, I've seen Petty twice, once with you, Nate, at the Tweeter or whatever it's called now, in Norwood, Mass, just outside of Foxborough, Mass, and once in Portland, Maine with our episode 17 guest, Rob. So I think we were like 8 rows off the stage in Portland. It was an awesome show. That was probably, 6 or 7 years ago. So just phenomenal show, phenomenal live show. Petty sounds just as good in person as he does on live recording, as he does on studio recordings. So that's another piece that makes a great live album for me. He or she or they all sound the same. There's not a lot of break. There's not this doesn't sound as good because there's imperfections. There are imperfections. Sometimes the song is 12 minutes long, like It's Good to Be King on this the live compilation. And that song is fucking awesome at 6 or 7 minutes long, but double it live with the crowd, going nuts, and the, guitar solo and the piano, and throw that all in there. It's just a feeling you don't get from the studio recording. So having seen it live, that's probably why I love this one. Nate, I think this feeds into you. You went to Bonnaroo in 06?
First one was in 07, unfortunately. 06 was a great lineup.
You just missed the 06 one. The Learning to Fly from 06 at Bonnaroo. It's on Apple Music as a video. I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'll put it on the playlist. It is awesome. It's a great version of that song because the crowd takes over for half of it, and it gives you chills. And Petty kind of harmonizes over the crowd. It's fucking awesome. You can't beat that. So this is what makes a great live record for me, and this is up there as far as live albums go.
Does he talk? Does he talk between songs and stuff?
Yeah, not a lot when I've seen him, but yeah, slow, southern, from Gainesville, Florida.
Because I love that. I love that because like you don't get that obviously on the recorded record, and sometimes it's super genuine stuff, or that they say that you just I don't know, you can tell a lot about someone the way they interact with the crowd. I feel like,
and Tom Petty's the best example of that. Like you said, minimal words, but like you said, southern, drawn out. He's like a movie character, like I don't even know, like a Robert Downey Jr. of music kind of thing. Just like,
is he like you?
Yeah. Well, me, I'm a lot of words, but yeah. But yeah, no, Tony, you're funny. It's funny you chose that because that actually was one of mine. So I'll cross that off. Good thing I got some safeties here.
Sorry, that's why I went first.
Yeah, and Good to Be King is my favorite Tom Petty song. So that version is amazing on this album. And I haven't seen that Bonnaroo take on which song was it?
Learning to Fly.
Learning to Fly.
You've heard the live version recorded though, I'm sure.
Oh, totally.
It's kind of slowed down, and halfway through the crowd just starts getting into it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, actually, I take it back. Learning to Fly is my favorite Tom Petty song. To Be King's number 2. But yeah, 06, the 06 Bonnaroo was the year before I went, and that was a legendary one with Radiohead, and it's said to be like the last Bonnaroo before it went corporate or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the in-between songs, like I was saying to you, Twan, like it elevates the studio recording because you get that, fully immersive experience of, I feel like I'm there. And I get to know the frontman and the band a little bit more, even with like the minimal words. You understand their personality that much more. It's like the music's one thing, but then you get to hear them kind of converse a little bit. You're like, oh, this guy really is who he is in the songs. It's not just like a facade. So that's probably the notable reason why I love live recordings is depending on who you get for a frontman, mainly the front person because they're the one talking a lot of the time. you get to really know that person as a nerd, not necessarily on a personal level, but it seems personal at the time.
And how long is that, Tone?
I want to say it's like 48 songs.
Damn.
It was 4 CDs or 5 CDs. And I don't have the vinyl. I do own the deluxe edition that has a not bootleg, but like a vinyl, one of the first live recordings they ever did, they pressed, and
Nice.
it has a DVD of the making of Wildflowers, which they just repressed last year and re-released finally, and an all-time Tom Petty album. So if you're a Petty fan, I mean, this is awesome. It lived in my car for a long time. It was another one of those ones that was in the 6 CD changer. And sometimes I listened to disc 1, sometimes I listened to 3. Just depend on my mood, and it was Petty. So growing up listening to Petty's greatest hits with my dad on road trips, it obviously hit the spot.
It's kind of sad that CDs won't be pressed here pretty soon. Like, that's coming, and it just makes you wonder, like, something like that, would it ever hit the light of day outside of streaming, or maybe they'd press it on vinyl.
I sold all my CDs a few years back, which part of me is, not all of them, but part of me is a little bummed I did, but they also took up a ton of space. And this is one that I hung on to. I was like, this one's staying with me. I like this too much.
Yeah, when I wrote this one down, I was surprised that it came out in 2009 because I feel like it came out the other day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, it came out that long ago already? Like, it seemed like yesterday. And he was still alive then, obviously. So Tom Petty's no longer with us, unfortunately. But last time I saw him, he was same thing in relation to this album. Same vibe, playing the same songs. His band, they're all masters of the craft. So like, they really are extremely tight, or they were extremely tight at what they do. One of the members actually lives about 20 minutes north of where I live. I can't remember which member, but I used to see him at the bar. I'm like, oh, God damn, it's one of the,
the Harpers, yeah. Go knock on the door, man.
Right there. What's that?
And go knock on his door, and he can come on next week.
Yeah, great pick, man.
Sorry to steal that from you, and I think this goes back to Twan. This is one that is not to satisfy a deal. Like, this is, hey, we have a million songs, and we've never put out a proper massive live album. Here you go. Here's everything.
Yeah, I would agree with that, just given the context of it. And I don't know, he never came across as a money-grabbing kind of guy anyway.
I was going to say the most ironic thing of the whole thing, of everything, is the fact that Tom Petty was very vocal of his hate against the music industry collectively.
There you go.
So, he put out the live album, but it definitely wasn't like a gun to the head. It was like, I'm going to do this because I want to do it, which is cool.
Well, and they never repressed, while he was alive, they never repressed Wildflowers because it wasn't a priority for him. I think he wanted to at some point correctly, but was never like, yeah, let's do the money grab thing. Let's put this out there. So, yeah, I think last week in talking about Dave Grohl, we put Grohl, like I said, Grohl is kind of the new boss. He really is the new Petty, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just so many hits. Was a nerd like Petty, wanted to do the Sound City thing he did Petty was big in Sound City back in the day. I feel like that is a better comparison.
Yeah, you could be right. Also known as, like, Tom Petty in particular, like one of the nicest guys in rock. So same with Dave Grohl, obviously.
Yeah,
so
a lot of parallels there.
Yeah, it just seems genuine, and that's actually why I asked if he had any banter between songs and whatnot, because there's nothing worse than like the stereotypical, "How's everyone doing out there? Make some noise!" Just like you've heard that a million times. But then there's other artists where, like, you can tell they're like genuinely happy to be there and they love what they're doing, and sometimes they'll personalize the message to your town, like, "Hey, I just had some lobsters down at the wharf or whatever." It's like, all right, cool. I'm glad you're indulging in the local scene here.
All right, we ready for my second one?
Round 2, baby.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull an audible. I didn't look this one up in my research tonight, but we got talking about listening to music and stuff that was formative for us growing up, and this was a formative live record for me as a kid. Because my dad had, again, this goes back to going on vacation with my dad as a 11, 12, 13-year-old and going on road trips and playing music in the car on road trips. And this record it was Tom Petty's greatest hits, and this record and August and Everything After by Counting Crows always made it into the playlist here. But it's Rock Spectacle by the Barenaked Ladies. You guys probably would never have guessed it, so I'm not going to trivia you it. But yeah, this record was always on. And it was before they got really big with One Week. It came out in 96. One Week was obviously their big song off stunt around the same time, 96, 97. But this was pre that. they had a big song before that, If I Had $1,000,000. Most people are aware of it. Portland was definitely aware of it. They were kind of folk heroes in Portland, from Canada, Montreal, I believe, in the area. They played Maine a lot. They love Maine. They love WCOI, our local radio station. They would play the patio outside in One City Center a lot. They would come and play the Civic Center. I saw them there. They were my first concert. But this record was always on. It was recorded in a couple of different places. Had a couple secret songs because it was the 90s and that's what you did. And it just sounded great. And they sounded great. And it was songs that you didn't hear on the radio a million times. So you could come back to this one after 1 week popped and after they became a massive pop punk or pop rock band from Canada. Yeah, these guys, this record, you guys probably never heard it.
No, I just looked it up on Wikipedia and I recognize the cover. It's like the tannish, and then the classic, almost like the carnival looking Barenaked Ladies logo. But no, like they were in that era. They were like the touring kings. I feel like, you know, like them and Dave Matthews. It's like, you know, you go see them live. Like you don't even listen to the recorded stuff. I feel like it was a live experience.
Totally.
And it sounds like this probably captured that.
Yeah. One of my close friends growing up, on the other side, because I grew up in South Portland with you guys, but my parents weren't together. So my dad lived across the bridge in Portland, and down the street from his house was a kid that I grew up with named Bert. Awesome dude, one of my best friends growing up, and we bonded over these guys. Like I did it over there too. Sorry guys, I had friends in Portland that also love music, and yeah, I wasn't cheating on you, but you know, it is what it is. When you're a nerd, you're a nerd with everybody. It's what you do. But yeah, we love these guys, and we listen to them all the time, and we listen to the old stuff, and you know, this was a formative live record for me, and that's why.
Does this have that live track from the patio show?
No. It does have If I Had $1,000,000 on it. I think it closes out before the secret songs.
Confirmed.
But these are prior to that patio show, I believe.
Okay, because I remember like our local station CYY of Rob, former guest Rob Riccatelli. You know, I remember they played that live track all the time.
All the
like,
time.
Is it from?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Okay, it wasn't from this. But
that
I do recognize
video is probably on YouTube, and I might, if I can find it, we'll try to toss it on the YouTube playlist.
But yeah, no, I'm pulling up this image too. Just the image. I remember. I think I had this T-shirt, and it's like it looks like a festival bill type artwork, which I always appreciate.
Yeah.
But yeah, talk about time capsule. Like they were huge back then. I think you Twan that just compared, like it was like them and Dave Matthews Band, or was that you, Tone?
That was yeah. I mean, not as big as them, but you get that type of following.
Yeah. No, I think they were pretty equal at the time, which is amazing because they were small time and then they just blew up. And I think, which is cool because Montreal's not too far from Portland. Like we were, as a city, kind of somewhat responsible for helping them get as big as they were with the help of, you know, CYY and their support. You know, they skyrocketed. It was almost like, it almost felt like a local band in a lot of ways. But yeah, man, great pick. I remember listening to this album too, and it definitely represents the live show, which is fun, energetic. It's feel good music, and that's what everyone needs. And Barenaked Ladies, the name's always been a little controversial. But.
Yeah, right. I think one of their first records was Barenaked Ladies Are Men, which is that's a great play on words.
They're from Scarborough, Ontario.
Yeah.
Canada. Interesting.
You're right, Nate. They felt like a local band for us, even though they weren't. They were 300 miles away or whatever. But they definitely felt like a local band. They got the key to the city. They play Portland on every tour, at the beginning or the end or close to the end, because they'd probably end up in Canada. But every U.S. tour, they'd either start or finish in Portland because they just love Maine. And I've seen them in probably 3 or 4 times. Stephen Page has obviously left the band for some personal reasons and some issues that he's had on his own. Still doing okay, I think. But yeah, those guys, when they had the full complement, the 5 guys, they were a lot of fun to see live.
Was he the singer?
One of them. Ed Robertson's the other one, yeah.
Okay.
Page had the like funky, kind of high, like almost nasally, not nasally, but kind of funky voice that nobody else had. Yeah. And Ed is the more straight-laced. Pinch Me. You know the song Pinch Me? Mm-hmm. That's Ed.
Yeah.
I never saw them. Never saw them, I don't think.
I'm surprised. They were a big CYY powerhouse band. But, I mean, the Canada thing and the Maine thing kind of makes sense. It's like a, you know, band from Vancouver
Maine is
breaking
Canada.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like
just ask people not from Maine.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like a band from Vancouver breaking in Seattle. It's like no, it's right across, you know.
Yeah.
So you have the support of the USA. So great poll, man.